What if the rhythm of your breath was not merely for keeping you alive, but a quiet guidance towards shaping your world? There is a timeless understanding that clarifies why you may feel adrift, despite your efforts toward growth, and why simply forcing new thoughts often falls short. When you grasp what is truly happening within, you no longer breathe just to get by. You begin to breathe in a way that colors your reality, and everything shifts. Now here is a profound insight from this understanding. You take thousands of breaths each day, almost all without awareness. Moving through your duties, planning your next step, lying awake replaying yesterday, or sitting in traffic feeling a sense of unease. You may not question why your outer world so often mirrors your inner turmoil. You might try to rearrange the circumstances around you, rather than nurturing the inner state that gives rise to them. You react to challenges with a familiar pull of emotion, which only invites more of the same experiences. This happens because you may not see that your very presence, carried on your breath, communicates your inner state to the space around you. And this is why wishful thinking or mental pictures often lack the power to bring about true change. But there's a principle of nature that changes this dynamic. When you recognize that each breath contributes to an energy field that can either support the life you wish for or reinforce the struggles, you can cease fighting your life's currents and instead guide your experience from within. I wish to share with you a simple 4-part practice for your breath that helps you move from being a reflection of life's events to becoming a source of calm presence within them. I will also offer a perspective on the space of stillness, a gateway that can make this state of being almost effortless, so you can become the quiet center that brings harmony to your world, instead of being carried away by its waves. Every breath you take without awareness is a moment of lost connection, a missed chance to consciously inhabit your reality. Most of us let thousands of these chances drift by every single day. When you first arrived in this world, you did not think your way into life. You breathed. Your first movement in this existence was not a thought, not a word, not even a sound. It was the simple drawing in of air. Your awareness entered this physical form not through the complexities of the mind or clever ideas, but through the profound, simple cadence of breath. In that first moment, you understood something that life may have caused you to forget. The breath is the link between the self you know and the deeper self you can become. But somewhere on our journey, we started to breathe as if we were machines, instead of the living, sensing beings that we are. We began breathing out of necessity rather than with presence. Take a gentle moment right now to simply notice how you are breathing. Where does it seem to originate? If you are like most, it may feel shallow, hurried, and located high in your chest. This can be seen as mechanical breathing. It's the kind that sustains the body's functions, but can leave your spirit unnourished. Wisdom traditions throughout history understood something vital that our modern pace often overlooks. From ancient Asian insights into life force to old Western concepts of spirit, cultures recognized breath as so much more than a biological process. They saw it as the delicate thread weaving together the world you see with the world you feel, the physical body with your boundless awareness, the human experience with life's vast intelligence. In these paths of wisdom, breathing with intention was never just an exercise. It was a gateway. Certain paths taught that each cycle of breath had the potential to illuminate different levels of consciousness. Great practitioners discovered that focused breath could not only alter one's inner state, but could also influence the very feeling of the reality surrounding them. They were not speaking in poetic terms. They perceived that when you breathe with full attention, you are not just cycling air, you are guiding life energy through your very existence. Consider this. Every emotion that has ever moved through you, every choice you have made, every moment of clear insight or deep confusion was matched by a specific pattern in your breath. When you feel anxious, your breath often becomes quick and constricted. When you are at peace, it naturally settles, deepens, and slows. Your breath is not just a mirror of your state. It is a powerful co-creator of it. The difference between a mechanical breath and a conscious one is simple awareness. A mechanical breath is something that happens to you. A conscious breath flows through you, with you as an active partner in the dialogue between your inner landscape and the world around you. When you start to breathe with quiet intention, with a sense of reverence for this simple gift that connects you to all of life, something remarkable begins to unfold. You cease to be a passive vessel for whatever life presents, and you start to become a graceful participant in shaping your path. This is how the breath becomes sacred, because every breath taken from that space is no longer just keeping your body alive. It is keeping you connected to your true nature. What I am about to share can gently dissolve a deep illusion. You may believe you direct your thoughts, but more often, you are carried along by them. Most of us live our days under the impression that we are the voice in our head. We awaken, and instantly, the inner talk begins. The list of tasks, the worries, a replay of a past conversation, the urge to reach for a device. We assume this constant stream is who we are. But what if this voice is not your true self? Right now, as you listen to these words, I invite you to do something very simple. Return your awareness to your breath. But this time, make no effort to alter it. Simply feel it. Feel the quiet passage of air moving in, filling your being, and then softly being released. As you do this, something significant occurs. You are shifting from being the one who breathes to the one who is aware of the breathing. Now, while you are aware of your breath, simply notice what the mind is doing. It may offer comments. This is strange. I don't have time for this. Am I getting it right? Here is the gentle insight. If you are aware of those thoughts, if you can watch them rise and fall like waves, then you cannot be them. You are the stillness that holds them. This is the awakening of the observer, the part of your being that resides behind the endless flow of mental activity. Picture yourself sitting peacefully by a flowing stream. Your thoughts are the water passing by. At times, the stream is calm and clear. At other times, it is rapid and stirred up. But you, your true essence, remain on the bank, observing its passage. You are not the stream. You are the awareness that perceives the stream. Some ancient traditions use the metaphor of the sky. Your consciousness is the vast, open sky. Your thoughts and feelings are the clouds that drift across it. Some clouds are dark and heavy, carrying worry or sadness. Others are light and bright with joy or hope. But consider this. The sky itself is never harmed or changed by the clouds. It remains open, spacious, and constant, whether the day is clear or filled with storms. This quiet, observing awareness is your true home. It's the part of you that has been with you since your first breath and will remain until your last. It is the witness, the presence, the silent awareness that has been watching your entire life's journey. The restless mind, that voice that often insists it is in charge, weaves complex stories about who you are and what you should be. It lives in a cycle of replaying the past and worrying about the future. But the observer exists only in this present moment. It rests in the eternal now, which is the only place true peace is found. As you learn to identify more with this observer and less with the stream of thoughts, a deep change takes place. You stop being swept away by life, and you start to respond to it. Instead of being carried off by every strong emotion or thought, you can watch them appear, acknowledge their presence without judgment, and then consciously choose your path. Here, your true freedom begins. The breath becomes your anchor, connecting you to this state of observing awareness. Each time you consciously return your attention to your breathing, you are returning to the peaceful home of your true self. You are stepping out of the mind's drama and into the stillness of pure being. This is not merely a spiritual idea. It is a fundamental principle of existence. The way we observe our inner world has a profound effect on it. When you become the calm observer of your own being, you begin to walk through your outer world with greater grace and wisdom. Have you ever had a moment where time itself seemed to pause? Perhaps during a sudden challenge, or a moment of deep connection. Within the quiet space between your breaths, there is a gateway where you can connect with a deeper part of reality. Yet, most of us never learn to rest there. Those moments you just recalled, when time felt suspended, were not random occurrences. They were invitations, glimpses into what is possible when you settle into the stillness between your thoughts, between your heartbeats, and between your breaths. In that quiet moment, you came into contact with something timeless, something that exists outside the normal flow of events. You discovered a gateway to profound stillness. Take a single breath right now. But this time, you bring your gentle attention not only to the in-breath and the out-breath, but to what happens in the spaces between them. There is a moment, however brief, where all movement ceases. Your lungs are full, yet the release has not yet begun. And at the end of the exhale, there is another pause, before the next breath is drawn in. These are not empty moments. They are sacred gateways. Ancient wisdom traditions understood the power of this inner quiet. In communities dedicated to inner exploration, seekers were guided to rest their awareness in these very gaps. They spoke of it as entering the silence where creation begins. These were not just breathing exercises, they were practices in accessing the field of pure potential that resides within every moment of stillness. Those who came before us knew what our inner compass can prove to us now. In the space between one state and the next, anything becomes possible. It is like the silence between the notes of a piece of music. Without that space, there is no melody, no beauty, only sound. Your breath can create that same sacred rhythm within your life. In this space of stillness, something remarkable happens. The usual chatter of the mind subsides. The constant current of "I need to" and "I should have" becomes quiet. And in that silence, a clear, calm intention can form. Not the urgent desire of the restless mind, but the deep knowing of your core being. It is in this space that your deepest aspirations cease to be mere wishes and become gentle instructions to the flow of life. You can see this pause as the quiet ground from which all things grow. Just as a seed germinates in the silent darkness of the earth, your intentions and dreams also need this sacred quiet to take root. Some traditions called it a narrow gate, a small opening through which immense potential must pass to become manifest in our world. Most of us rush past these gateways. We breathe quickly. Our minds are constantly moving, always reaching for the next moment. But when you learn to settle into the pause, when you can find comfort in the space between what has passed and what is yet to come, you discover that this is where true strength resides. It is not about forcing anything or holding on. It is about learning to be present with the natural, peaceful rhythm of your own being. And in that presence, you touch the place where your calm intention meets life's infinite possibilities. In this profound stillness, you are not attempting to control life's flow. You are moving in harmony with it. But accessing this stillness is only the start. There is something deeper waiting for your awareness. Your body has been speaking to you for years, sending signals you may have learned to ignore. And these unheard messages can become obstacles to your natural well-being. The deeper awareness I spoke of is not found by reaching higher or thinking more complex thoughts. It is discovered by journeying inward, by descending from the realm of the mind into the quiet, sacred landscape of your own body. Just as people throughout time have built beautiful temples to feel connected to the divine, you too can build an inner sanctuary. Not with stone or wood, but with the simple materials of breath and gentle awareness. Consider the great quiet places of the world, ancient groves, mountain monasteries, vast cathedrals, sacred spaces where people have gathered for ages to touch something beyond their everyday selves. These spaces were created with intention. Every element was designed to channel a sense of peace and elevate awareness. Your body is no different. It is already a sacred space, but most of us have not learned how to consciously inhabit it. Some ancient traditions perceived this with great clarity. They mapped the human form as a living temple, with centers of energy corresponding to different chambers of awareness. They knew that the breath was the key that could gently open each of these inner rooms, revealing not only the peaceful spirit within, but also the stories, tensions, and patterns stored in the body's memory. As you begin to breathe with more awareness, you might start to notice things. Certain parts of your body may feel tense, tight, or numb. Your shoulders may be carrying the weight of burdens you have held for many years. Your chest might feel protected, guarding a heart that learned to close after being hurt. Your belly might hold the tightness of worry about things to come. Or your throat might feel constricted, holding words that were never given a voice. These are not simply physical feelings. They are your life's journey written into your being. Your body has kept a gentle record of your path, storing the emotional echoes of your experiences in its very tissues. The tightness in your heart area may be the lingering energy of a loss you never fully grieved. The tension in your shoulders could be from carrying responsibilities that were never truly yours. But here is the beautiful quality of conscious breathing. It doesn't just show you these patterns, it helps them to soften. Each conscious, gentle breath is like bringing warm light and fresh air into your inner temple. It clears away old dust, opens passages that were closed, and restores the natural flow of life energy that seeks to move through you. Imagine descending slowly, with each breath, through the chambers of your inner temple. As you breathe with awareness into your chest, you visit the chamber of the heart, the center of connection, compassion, and emotional wisdom. As your breath moves down into your belly, you enter the chamber of core strength and intuition, where your deepest, quietest knowing is found. With each breath, you are not just looking at these spaces. You are tending to them, honoring them, and reclaiming them as your own peaceful home. Some cultures built incredible structures to align with the energies of the cosmos, creating places that could channel universal life force into the earthly plane. Through conscious breathing, you are doing the same with your own body. You are aligning your inner structure with the higher frequencies of peace, love, and quiet strength that wish to flow through you. This journey is not about trying to perfect your body or force it into being something else. It is about learning to be fully present within it, to honor the deep intelligence that has been guiding you your whole life, and to gently clear the energetic knots that have stood in the way of your fullest, most authentic expression. Once this inner temple is tended to, something truly remarkable starts to happen to the very space around you. We now understand that your state of being creates a field of presence that extends out from your body. This means you are constantly influencing the atmosphere and people around you, often without realizing it. That remarkable thing that begins to happen is not just a nice idea, it is a measurable reality. Scientific explorations have shown that our inner state generates an energetic field that radiates far beyond our physical form. And this field changes profoundly depending on the quality of our breath. When your breathing is irregular, tense, or born of stress, your field carries that same chaotic energy into any space you enter. But when your breathing becomes calm, deep, and centered, your field becomes a source of coherence and harmony that others can genuinely sense. Think of the energy you carry as the surface of a deep, still pond. When you breathe from a place of anxiety or racing thoughts, it is like thrashing in the water, creating erratic waves that disturb everything on the surface. But when you learn to breathe from that quiet center we are cultivating, you become like the great mountain reflected perfectly on the pond's glassy surface, still, grounded, and powerfully serene. Have you ever entered a room and felt an immediate sense of either unease or tranquility before a single word was spoken? Have you noticed how some people seem to carry a quiet peace with them everywhere, while others appear to bring a storm of chaos? This is not your imagination. It is the palpable effect of our inner state. We are always transmitting the quality of our inner world through the rhythm and depth of our breath. And others receive these silent signals, whether they are aware of it or not. Children are particularly open to these fields of presence. They have not yet built up the layers of mental chatter that can mute their natural perception, so they respond instantly to the energy we radiate. When a parent breathes with tension and worry, a child often becomes unsettled or demanding without knowing the reason. But when that same parent takes just a few conscious breaths to find their center, the child will often calm down naturally, as if by a hidden signal. This influence extends to every single interaction you have. When you take a moment to breathe with intention before a challenging conversation, you are not just preparing yourself, you are creating an energetic space that can more easily hold the truth of what needs to be shared. When you enter your place of work centered in your breath, you are gently influencing the entire environment, making it more fertile for creativity and peaceful cooperation. The true beauty of understanding this is realizing how deeply interconnected we all are. You are not an isolated being trying to improve your own corner of the world. You are an integral part of a vast web of consciousness. And every single breath you take with awareness adds to the collective field of peace and potential on this earth. But this influence is not something you need to manage or even think about. It is a natural byproduct of tending to your own inner temple. This field responds to authenticity, not to effort. When you breathe from a true place of inner calm and presence, that genuineness radiates from you without you having to do anything at all. This may be why the ancient teachings often described an awakened being as one who serves the world simply by their presence. They understood that consciousness itself is infectious, that peace is magnetic, and that a single person breathing from their true, still center can gently shift the energy of an entire community. You have taken a long journey without moving at all. Not across physical distances, but through the deep layers of your own self, through rhythm, through silence, and through awareness. The wisest individuals throughout history mastered one practice that many of us were never taught: how to access a profound strength through absolute inner stillness. And on this journey, exploring the layers of yourself, you have found a simple truth that our busy world often encourages us to forget. The most powerful action you can take is frequently to do nothing at all. We are immersed in a culture that celebrates constant action, that equates more effort with better results. It keeps us in a state of perpetual busyness, always striving, always pushing for the next accomplishment. But the great field of life, the consciousness that responds to your inner state, follows entirely different principles. This field does not respond to how hard you push. It responds to how aligned you are. It is not concerned with your list of tasks or your long-term goals. It is attuned to your frequency, your coherence, your state of being. And the most coherent and powerful state you can inhabit is one of stillness. Not the empty stillness of resignation, but the dynamic, potent stillness of a mountain. Consider a mountain for a moment. It stands in what appears to be complete stillness, yet it possesses an immense power. It does not fight against the storms that pass over it. It simply allows them to come and go. It does not chase after the sun at day's end. It simply stands, ready to receive its light. Rivers must flow around it. The seasons change upon its slopes. Yet, through it all, it remains anchored in its own deep, unwavering presence. This is the kind of stillness that can move worlds. When you learn to breathe into this mountain, like stillness within you, something profound occurs. Life's circumstances begin to arrange themselves around you, rather than feeling like they are pushing against you. Opportunities that you could not have forced into being may begin to appear with ease. People who can support your journey may cross your path at precisely the right time. Solutions to challenges you have wrestled with can suddenly become clear. This is not some kind of magic. It is a law of nature. When you abide in a state of inner stillness and coherence, you are no longer sending out the turbulent signals of want, desperation, or the need to control. Instead, you radiate the clear, steady frequency of trust, openness, and alignment. The field of life responds to this clarity by organizing events to reflect your inner state. Think of the eye of a great storm. All around it, destructive winds rage with incredible force. Chaos and turmoil swirl in every direction. But at the very heart of the storm, there is a space of perfect calm, of absolute stillness. And from that still center, the entire powerful weather system is organized. This is the quality of stillness you can cultivate within yourself. It is not the quiet of someone who has given up, but the quiet of someone who has learned to become the peaceful, organizing principle of their own existence. The distinction between control and alignment becomes beautifully clear in this stillness. Control is the exhausting effort of trying to force the outer world to match your inner desires. Alignment is the graceful process of allowing your inner coherence to attract outer harmony. Control is a constant battle because you are fighting against the natural, flowing current of life. Alignment is effortless because you are finally moving in harmony with it. When you breathe with awareness, when you rest in the silent pause, when you fully inhabit your inner temple, you are not trying to make things happen. You are allowing things to happen through you. You become a clear channel for the great intelligence of the universe to express itself in your life. This does not mean you become passive. True stillness is intensely alive and deeply aware. It is the stillness of a master artisan just before making the decisive stroke. Fully present, completely focused, and ready for what comes forth. From this place, your actions become both effortless and profoundly effective because they arise from a state of alignment, not a state of strain. Now, as you prepare to leave this space of quiet reflection, carry this rhythm with you. You return now, not to the person you were, but to the person you have always been. Beneath all the noise, the breath guided you here, and now it reveals the final, simple truth. Stillness is not the absence of power. Stillness is power. You have journeyed through the sacred essence of breath, realizing that the many thousands of breaths you take each day are not merely bodily functions, but thousands of opportunities for conscious connection. You have awakened the observer within, that timeless aspect of your being that watches thoughts and feelings pass like clouds across an endless sky. In the silent gateway between each breath, you have found the sacred space where calm intention can crystallize into your reality. By building your inner temple, you have come to know your body not as just flesh and bone, but as a living sanctuary, holding the stories of your life and offering pathways to deep healing and wholeness. You have discovered that your breath and being create a field of presence, in making you a constant source of either peace or turbulence for everyone you meet. And at last, you have touched the profound truth that the most powerful form of action is often found in non-action, the dynamic stillness that allows reality to gently organize itself around your coherent presence, rather than you trying to force it to bend to your will. There will be times when the world's currents pull you away. There will be moments when emotion clouds your vision, when thoughts begin to spiral. In those times, remember that the most direct path back to yourself is through your breath. 3 conscious inhalations can return you to the seat of the observer. 1 mindful pause between breaths can reconnect you to the field of potential. A single moment of choosing stillness can restore balance to your inner temple. This path is not about being perfect. It is about returning again and again. Each time you remember to breathe with awareness, you are not just improving your moment, you are reshaping your reality from the inside out. You are becoming a living embodiment of the truth that consciousness, not circumstance, is the true guiding force of your life. Now, as you carry on from this moment, take this quiet rhythm with you. Let your breath be your anchor. Let stillness be your source of strength. Let your awareness walk beside you in every action, every choice, and every sacred pause. So breathe, not only to survive, but to remember, not to escape, but to embody, not to control, but to align. The breath is the guide. You are the path. Walk on.